feel free to send the Zoom meeting invitation or the Facebook link.
And last but definitely not the least, enjoy and listen attentively during the webinar to gain life-changing insights.
Thank you so much. Just stay tuned in because in 5 p.m. exactly, we are going to start the forum. Hang in there. Music, please. We are definitely back, and to break the ice, let us have a quick game where you get to choose if the corresponding image or text displayed is yay or nay. Just choose yay if it is AI generated and nay if it is not AI generated.
I think Miss Mara, they are keyword ready. So for the first one, let's see. So this is the picture for the first one. What do you think, guys? Is it yay or nay?
That looks incredible. But sabi ni Gigi from the chat box, it's a nay.
Nay? Yay?
Yay? Parang nayayayayay tayo dito.
Yes, mix yung answers natin. Keep them coming, guys.
I love the pagkaka-type na YAI. It's very highlighting the forum, but the answer is...
It's yay! So it is AI generated, guys. Ayan, marami namang nakatama, Miss Mara, right?
I can sense na nasa 50 to 75% ang sumagot na AI generated to. Pero
Yes.
marami ring na-deceive, and it's also good because later we're gonna dig on that. Let's proceed to the second icebreaker. I think cool to Mix Jelaine because parang nag-vape siya or nagsusmoke.
Yes.
Is this yay or nay?
Yay.
Nay.
Nay.
Baka ma-type nila nayay or nanay.
Ayan,
Very
hello.
engaged. What is the answer kaya? Kasi nalilito na sila. It's a nay. It's not AI generated and it is verified as well. Ang gagaling naman ng mga nakaka 2 points na.
Okay, so for the last one, let's see if may maka-perfect score. So this statement, let me read it. Get ready to explore the cutting-edge intersection of technology and economics at STS1 Forum. Join us for AI-fficiency surfacing artificial intelligence's impact on Philippine economy. Dive into the dynamic landscape where AI innovation meets economic growth and discover how this powerful duo is reshaping the future of the Philippines. Don't miss your chance to be part of the conversation that's shaping tomorrow's economy. So what do you think, guys? Is this statement a yay or nay?
I think I love the content, but let's see kung tingin ba nila AI generated ito. It's yay
Ayan, puro
daw.
yay.
Disclaimer lang guys, yung mga caption natin na pinost on Facebook is not AI generated ha, but let's reveal it. It's AI. Maraming
Guys,
salamat ChatGPT for that. But now, are you ready to educate?
I am ready.
Are you ready to innovate?
I am ready.
Are we ready for AI?
All geared up.
It's time to formally open the talk for AI efficiency, surfacing artificial intelligence's impact on PH economy. This is Mara.
And Jelaine Salvador, your AI Vision partners for today.
As we are dedicated to bringing the best of knowledge to earn from our invited speakers, let us first hear a few words from the overall co-head of the AI Vision team, Mr. Alan Aglosolos. Let us warmly give our applause to our AI Vision head.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank you for choosing to spend your time with us this afternoon. I hope that you will get new learnings and insights as we listen to three great speakers tonight talking about AI. So, to start off my opening remarks, I would like all of us to focus on a line from what I think is one of the most underrated Disney movies of all time, titled Meet the Robinsons. The words keep moving forward, which was echoed throughout the whole film, was actually a line from Walt Disney himself, where he said, and I quote, "Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." End quote. Well, the quote was used in the film to encapsulate how a family of inventors were able to go on with their lives despite failed prototypes. I really believe that it is still relevant in our current time and how we deal with new technology. The concept of artificial intelligence, for the most part, was celebrated a few decades ago, far from the state of AI right now. However, it seems that as of late, people have been very wary of AI, despite not being fully knowledgeable about it. I must admit, I was, or rather, I still am, one of those people. A few weeks ago, I was talking to a close friend of our family about AI, and what he told me about it really changed my perspective on the said technology. He said that there really is no point in denying that AI will soon be fully immersed in our communities and day-to-day living. Whether we like it or not, we should accept it. Instead of being in denial and brushing off the idea that AI will see its way into society, the better attitude is to embrace such changes and prepare for it by knowing what we are dealing with and how to be responsible users of it. Realistically speaking, AI will not only be the controversial technology that will be presented to us within the next decade or so. The least we could do right now is to be informed about the technology that we have so that we can promote this drive of innovation and at the same time become responsible users of it. Having said that, I congratulate every one of you who registered for this forum as you are doing your part to be responsible users of the technology we have through awareness. I certainly hope that our speakers will be able to give you a better sense of understanding of artificial intelligence, especially in the Philippine context. May we all see what AI really is and not cower from it as we keep moving forward. Thank you, and I hope you'll have a pleasant evening with us.
That is definitely remarkable and AI amazing. Thank you, Mr. Agnosalos.
And now that we are all set to explore further, let us first have a grasp of how AI surfaced in the Philippines.
Provide us a thorough glimpse of AI status in our country, may we call on attorney Fernando Angelo R. Santiago, JD MSc. He took his MSc in data science at the Asian Institute of Management. He is a private consultant in data science and artificial intelligence, a law reform specialist 3 at the Institute of the Administration of Justice, and a senior lecturer at the UP College of Law and UP School of Library. A big round of applause to Attorney Santiago.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are definitely heard po.
All right. All right. Thank you. So, thank you for this opportunity to speak with everyone. I'm so I'm so excited to be sharing what I know. No, as a pa-share po ng screen. I mean, pa-enable ng screen sharing. So while they're setting it up, I thank you, sir, Sir Kanina, for inviting me here. No, thank you to the team. So, we are actually in an exciting time in the Philippines because actually, um, AI is a buzzword. So the College of Law is one of the schools. Um, sorry, pa-enable ng screen share, please. To the host. Okay. So the UP College of Law is, um, has one of the first, I would say, artificial intelligence in the law courses. So we have been educating since the past year, lawyers and students alike. Sorry, pa-enable ko ng screen share.
Hello, sir. The tech team is working on it po.
All right, thank you. All right. So let me just proceed to to discussing now. So artificial intelligence. So feel free to, if you have questions, so feel free to interrupt. But I know we have a Q&A session later, but feel free to chime in. Okay. So we'll have a quick fundamentals of AI. So I know it's a very nebulous concept here. What is AI? There's not one definition, and we'll explore the definitions later. We'll get to what are the different kinds and what are the some issues that we encounter. AI ethics, so a little about it, and then what are our takeaways on artificial intelligence? So there's not one definition of artificial intelligence. No one common definition. In fact, in these three definitions, one would say AI is a discipline of computer science. Another definition would say that it's the ability of computers. Another one is it is a tangible system, a machine-based system. So these are all different. However, despite the seeming lack of consensus in what AI is, these definitions actually agree on what AI or what comprise AI. So let's focus on, let's parse the definitions together. So AI first can carry out tasks. AI has the ability to perform tasks. AI can do things, make predictions, etc. And one of the core concepts that you have to remember is that AI, algorithms comprise AI, and algorithms are just instructions. Okay? Just like when we are sorting our laundry, we sort colors and whites. We know that, no? We learned either we were taught that by our parents or by our schools, or we learned that the hard way. Na pag pinagsama mo yung colored sa puti, maghahawa yung kulay. So that's why we learned, um, and we create or we input the algorithms. And because AI can do algorithms, look at this example, this robot. Your robot now can sort your laundry, can do the sorting. See? Because algorithms, which are everyday things that we do, no? Ano ginagawa natin when we wake up? Probably we look at our cell phone, we cook, we shower, etc. And if you can break down your activities into algorithms, into step-by-step instructions, and deploy that into a machine, then you could have already your AI. Okay. So other components. So an AI, of course, would have capacity to decide. Kaya nga siya intelligence, diba? And one of the pinnacle or one of the peak characteristics of intelligence is the capacity to decide. And necessarily, all of the steps leading to a decision is there. So you need to learn, to reason out, to do problem solving so that you can decide. And finally, machines. So machines and systems, computers and machines. Kaya ang artificial because machines yung mag-implement. Okay? But there's another definition that I would just like to show you. And it's used by the UP Diliman AI program. So we have a master's program here. So after you take your college, maybe you might want to enroll here. And Let me just break it down piece by piece for you. So AI, in this definition, involves, again, machines, right? Automated intelligent systems. And the automated intelligent system is given some goals. And let's say in the case of a self-driving car or a car, the goal is to get from point A to point B safely. Okay? And to get from point A to point B safely, the programmer needs the AI to be able to, the programmer needs to design and construct the car, right? And the programmer can input algorithms. For example, if you see green light, the stoplight, it means go. If you see orange, then slow down, and red means stop. So that's actually an algorithm that humans follow that cars could implement, self-driving cars. Alternatively, you could have the AI learn. So you could give it data so that it can learn and make generalizations. For example, what does a human look like? What does a car look like? What does a street look like? So you feed the car pictures of things so that it learns, okay, kalsada to. Ibig sabihin, malinis, malinaw, go ako. But if I see that there's a person, then I learned that what a person looks like from the data. Okay, so the car or intelligent system could perceive, meaning it can get data, it can take in data either from sensors, so automated, right? Or you could do it manually. Remember when you're driving a car, you're actually giving a manual input to a car, right? But in the case of self-driving cars, because automated yung systems niya, all of the input becomes or uh, gets translated into data, ones and zeros, right? In which the car is able to reason out and formulate decisions. And in this case, if you see a person, sorry, if the car sees a person, it is able to perceive a person in front of the car, then it tries to reason out, okay, anong gagawin ko? And in deciding what to do next, of course, car to. So either ang option ng car is to start and to continue running, to continue and run the person over. That's an option, right? Another option is to stop, slow down and stop. Or another option is to swerve. So taking into account everything that is in the road, then the car will decide what to do next. And in this example lang, okay, the car decides to act in the environment, which is the road, to just swerve and avoid the person. So we see a fourth element of artificial intelligence, which is goals. Remember, there are people programming or designing these intelligent systems, and the goals of that person are being fed or inputted into that AI system. So, simply put, so we'll have an easier definition. Artificial intelligence is just the set of tasks in which a computer can make decisions. So, just like this one, no? Simpleng sorting lang. If you tell the AI to look at the nose of an animal, if it's short, if it's a snout, then classify it as a cat. If if long yung ilong, it's a dog. Okay? That's AI. Now, from this definition, is a calculator artificial intelligence? A calculator. Diba? If you input numbers in your calculator, in fact, your calculator can even do PEMDAS. Diba? So it appears that calculators per se could be considered AI. And I would like to caution you at this point because we hear the word AI being said many, many times all over the internet, in radios, in TV. Oh, we have an AI-powered solution. That's why you have to ask, no? That's from the Philippine context also, na ano bang AI pinag-uusapan natin? Simpleng automation ba? Because simple automation can already be considered by this definition AI. And because simple automation is easier to achieve, mas madaling sabihin na AI-powered kami. Nagigets niyo ba? In fact, in my thesis, no, in my master's, we tried to deliver a data science solution, an AI solution to our client. And masaya na pala si client sa data science solution ng Excel file lang. Automation lang. But from the AI, hardcore AI perspective, this is not yet AI. In fact, when we think of AI, we actually, um, when we say AI, no, or when we hear AI, ito actually naiisip natin. Machines that are capable of learning. Remember, artificial intelligence kanina, pwedeng pasok na doon yung ikaw mismo yung nag-program. What will the AI do? Start, stop, go. Add, subtract, minus. Multiply, divide, no? But here, your AI can learn from data. Now, that is something amazing, no? That is amazing kasi this is actually the computer version of common sense. If you think about it, AI is able to generalize based on data. And and that changes things. Kasi sa artificial intelligence lang, ano, per se. What about your animal that, or kunwari, what about a rat? No? A rat has a long nose, so is it a dog? 'Di ba? Hindi niya nasasalo yung mga wala doon sa prinogram mo. And as humans, we tend to miss out on things. Even if gana tayo kasinsin, gumawa ng mga algorithms, no? Kunwari, ito, balik sa paglalaba. Normally, ako na nang ginagawa ko, coloreds and whites, no? And then, as it turns out, yung coloreds, kailangan ko pa palang ihiwalay yung delicates. Kasi nagkaroon na ako ng sitwasyon before na sinama ko lang lahat ng delicates, so may mga nasira, natanggal ng botones, mga nag-shrink. So, even though there's an algorithm right there, hindi na salo ng algorithm yung dapat pa ng pagkakasinsin. So machine learning can help provide or can help give better generalizations here because supposedly you are teaching the AI everything that it has to know based on the data that you have. No? So let me just show you quickly. If you've used a computer before, computers read from top to bottom. Okay? So, papasok siya, ganyan. First data, animal, one is a dog. It has a long nose and it has a long tail. So, sa amin, so to the computer, so tayo na nagbigay ng data, no? And the data only focuses on the nose and the tail. And to the AI, at this point, all dogs have long noses and tails. Okay, at this point, because there's only one data point. But what we try to do in machine learning is we give the AI more and more data so that it can generalize better, so that if it's faced with an unknown animal, it can have a better sorting. It can have better accuracy. Okay, and the problem with this data, this toy data set is what about the pug? Ba? Natutunan nung algorithm, nung AI, na okay, from the data, all dogs have long noses and all cats have short noses. But what about the pug? Because the pug was never in the training data, then the pug is a cat. And we know it's not, right? So one of the key issues here is that the quality of your AI will depend on the quality of the data that you give it. Sometimes, kaya ng reclassification, kaya nung, let me just take a step back now. We're in the age of big data, and big data actually will help us get better or give better data to systems, right? If you probably scrape or got all pictures of dogs from Facebook or Wikipedia and all that, you would probably know, or a pug will probably be in that data set. And maybe the AI will have a better understanding of what the dog looks like. But then again, there's that issue right there.
kung sino yung may power, yung may capacity to create data sets, they have the power or capacity um to influence how the AI will act, no? And let me share with you. I once had a proposal, kumbaga parang, oy, gawa tayong project. Okay, project. We wanted, or that person wanted to predict. Kinig kayo, ah. So AI can predict, right? Here, the AI can predict whether an animal is a dog or a cat. Okay? But AI can actually predict more things. So in this case, what yung kausap ko wanted to do was to predict saan magkakaroon ng violent extremism sa Pilipinas. Doable? Yes. Right? You can, and anong data yung gagamitin natin? Well, maybe either arrest data, diba? Either arrest data or data that we see in the news. Pwede, diba? So imagine, if kinuha natin yung balita, can you already foresee saan ituturo ng AI? Saan magkakaroon ng extremism? Well, rhetorical question yon. But I think you have an idea where, right? Okay, next. I've seen another proposal na company wanted to, so Pilipinas na lahat, a company wanted to basically do data science on red tagging. Okay, red tagging. Oh my God, red tagging. So imagine if data leaks out, red tagging, sobrang sensitive personal information, no, di ba? Also, imagine that in the hands of the wrong people. What if ma-red tag kayo na hindi naman talaga kayo dapat i-red tag? No? Or what if ma-red tag kayo because some algorithm tells you na this person is likely to rebel against the government, but you're not. No? Those are issues right there. And in the Philippines, these are being explored actually by our government agencies. No, I mean, not yet deployed, but these are conversations. In fact, there are some laws on artificial intelligence currently in Congress. And yesterday, di lang ako naka-attend, may hearing about what AI is, where is AI used in police efforts, etc. Okay? So another concept in AI is that of training data. So AI can learn the rules by itself. Okay, so again, training data is information used to train the AI model. Parang tayo, no? When we're trying to learn, when we have an exam, we are reading our materials, like books, readings. We're training ourselves from that information, right? And we are hoping, hindi ko alam kung na-experience niyo, pero na-experience ko to, no? Math. So engineering undergrad ako. Bakit? Yung mga exercises sa math, nagagawa ko naman in class. Diba that's training data, right? Pero pagdating sa exam, bakit hindi? Bobo ba ako? Diba? Parang, I, you would think na nag-aaral naman ako, pero it just means that maybe yung pag-aaral natin, sobrang specific lang to the material that we tried to study. Such that when faced with a new material, even if it incorporates the same principles, no, hindi mo mag-apply. So that's actually even artificial intelligence. So kaya mahalaga sa AI yung paano mo tinetrain, no? Mahalaga sa AI, it would be interesting na. So I'm teaching my law students how to train AI basically. And sabi ko parang para kayong AI talaga. The more frequent you study the material, the more you are able to understand it. You're able to generalize. So anyway, all right. So there are different kinds of machine learning. Okay, machine learning. One is supervised learning. So prediction based on labeled data. So sa mga may gusto ng labels, para sa inyo to. Okay? Basically, parang email classifier. So, is your email spam? Is the email that you're receiving spam or not spam? And the AI is able to read, basically, the AI is able to predict if it's spam or not spam based on the contents. And more or less, we have an idea what not spam email looks like, or ham. No, ham yung tawag, technical na term. And we have an idea what spam looks like. So ito, pag puro ads, di ba? Kapag merong mga links to, mga triple X website, that's probably spam. So, and even Google ngayon, Gmail, galing, kaya na niya mag-predict kung updates, di ba? Updates ba? Social ba yan? Promotions. So, lumalim pa siya. And that's artificial intelligence. For you, another example, I would have wanted for you to try this, but this is cute. Quick Draw, Google Quick Draw. So basically, you're asked to draw things, and the AI will try to recognize your drawings. So ito yung examples ng drawings ko. So ito yung itsura ng crab. Di ko na natapos, pero nahulaan ng AI na crab siya. Ito yung itsura ng hedgehog. Lion, o di ba hindi pa siya mukhang lion? Spreadsheet. And necklace and feather. So, sabi nung AI, okay, yung lion mo looks like a lion, okay? It also looks like a sock, and it also looks like a bracelet. Insulto naman. Hindi talaga marunong mag-drawing. But imagine, no? These are all labeled as lions. And inaral siya ng AI. That's why it's able to learn what a lion looks like based on all of this information. So that's why we have a lot of issues in supervised machine learning kasi what if you are fed, what if sinabi ko na daga pala yun? So true or fake labels. What about outdated data and lack of data? So let me show you an example. So this is a data set, no, pictures taken from all over the internet, and they were labeled according to some dictionary. The problem is the dictionary they used was, I guess, comprehensive in a way because they had words for student and parent. But imagine if you are forced to label a picture, how would you know if a person is a student or a parent based on the picture without context? How would you know if the person is a male or a lesbian, or all of these questions, no, na sometimes our eyes fail us. 'Di ba minsan pag sinabi malaki ulo mo, matalino ka siguro, 'di ba? But not always. So sometimes our biases are incorporated in the data sets, and that poses a very big problem. Okay. Another type of machine learning is unsupervised machine learning. So if you've used Google, if you've used Netflix, YouTube, Lazada, you've probably been recommended something. Tumingin ka lang ng picture ng cellphone, ang dami ng ads on cellphone, and then sa Netflix, sa Spotify, you listen to Pantropico, maybe you might like Salamin-Salamin. Maybe. Because another person also has the same taste as you. So those are recommender systems. But one big issue here is, what if you're being recommended the bad content? No, in fact, nagkaroon na ng kaso abroad na may taong namatay sa France because remember a few years ago yung ISIS extremists, 'di ba? Islamic State. This person died in France, and their claim is yung mga napatay siya ng mga taong na convince because they were recommended extremist content. So imagine, punta tayo ng eleksyon. Yung likely yung mga kandidatong sinuportahan natin, puro nasa feed natin. We're being recommended things that we like to watch. And that actually drives income for the platform. Okay. So and then we have reinforcement learning. And one of the famous, one of the more prominent examples is ChatGPT. And ChatGPT basically is learning, no? Do not use it as a search engine. Please, do not use it as a search engine because it is not. It is a conversational AI. It's trained to talk to you. So, and it learns from interactions with you. So, kunwari, ito, can you give me a list of websites where I can download pirated contents? And sabi ni ChatGPT, oh, I cannot give you this list of websites. But okay, but I want to avoid infringing copyright. So, what do I avoid? So, uh, kaya ang sabi niya ay ano, anong tawag dito? I didn't know if piracy was illegal, then avoid these websites na lang. All right. So, with that, let me just show you na lang quickly takeaways. Okay? So, we think of AI normally as something up in the cloud, something technological, but it's actually something very physical. We cannot have AI if we do not have mining. And mining is a uh, very hot topic ngayon, 'di ba? So, we need lithium for our batteries, and there might be a lithium shortage by next year. We train data. As we mentioned, we train data. And the Philippines actually is one of the trainers of data. We label, actually, because cheap yung labor sa atin dito, sa atin usually in-outsource ang labeling. And then, you need electricity and water to train AI. And sa atin, actually, we need to reskill fast because one of the top skills is technological literacy, AI, and big data programming networks. So I would just like to end with this quote that there's no dictionary in the world that can tell you the difference between the word complete and finished, but there's a way to understand it. If you use and embrace AI, you will be complete. If you do not and you're late, you'll be finished. And if you reject it altogether, you will be completely finished. So, as mentioned by Prof. De Leon kanina, there is no escaping AI. It's here to stay. So, ride the wave, but we have to be conscientious about how we use AI, how we interact with these systems, because at the end of the day, we need to make the world sustainable for all of us. For AI, we cannot have AI without mining, as I mentioned, without all of these issues in human labor. So let's make the world easier for all of us and for the next generation. So thank you. I have time for some questions.
Hello,
That
sir.
is, yes, hello. That is by far the most extensive discourse that I have ever heard for an introduction to AI. Thank you so much, Attorney. And to make sure that we are filling the gaps, maybe ask the audience if they have questions in mind. Don't miss the chance to maximize knowledge at your fingertips. You may plug your queries through Slido by entering the code 1122708 or by accessing the link sent in our chat box. Okay, so we got a question. Let me read the question from Prof. De Leon. Even countries further ahead of the PH on AI tech development are struggling to develop legislative and regulatory frameworks for it, with Biden's executive order on safe, secure, and trustworthy artificial intelligence receiving a lot of attention. Do you think the PH government is ready to really understand AI's impact and thus create laws and policies relevant to it?
Um, Both yes and no. Kasi in a way, we feel the impact. Like I mentioned, showed the example kanina, part tayo ng data ecosystem, ng AI ecosystem. The training data set is being fielded out to us, no? And we see examples in other countries. Remember last year, nag-strike yung mga ano to? SAG-AFTRA, yung mga screenwriters sa US, right? Because ang dali na with ChatGPT, that's your topic later. With ChatGPT, madali ka nang makapag-replace ng workers. And actually, under the labor code of the Philippines, you can actually dismiss people. The technical term is retrenchment because you have installed a labor-saving device, and AI can easily save labor, di ba? So we're in a way ready to understand immediate impacts like labor because yun yung madali sa atin. Pero yung deeper impact, for example, um, kunwari, privacy concerns. One of the concerns, for example, is use of CCTV sa kalsada. Remember, nagkaroon before ng no contact apprehension policy. Yung sa Metro Manila may mga CCTV, wala nang mga police, pero the CCTV will tell you if you're violating the traffic rules, no? Um, there are privacy issues right there. So, kailangan pa ng mas malalim na usapan. And when I attended actually the first congressional meeting on the AI bills present, one of the questions was actually, what is AI? So, ganun pa lang ka-basic, we have to understand. So, malalim-lalim pa. But I have faith in our legislators that they will conscientiously try to understand and grasp what the potentials of AI could be, or what um the the um the negative aspect could be.
Hello, attorney. I think another question popped in the chat box, again from Prof. De Leon. If, and that's an actual if, PH government comes to be at the forefront of developing AI legislation and policy, do you think PH human rights advocates at risk of being left out of the loop? How do we make sure checks and balances are in place when a lot of the players don't understand all the issues yet?
All right, thank you for that question, sir. Actually, nag-take na ng proactive stance ang, well, UNESCO. Let me just take a step back. UNESCO, so the Philippines is signatory to that, no, to UNESCO. And ang nilabas nila actually, naglabas sila last year, 2023, ng recommendation on the ethics of AI. And that recommendation, that document is heavily based on human rights. So, um, even if there are human rights, kumbaga, even if human rights advocates might not yet readily grasp that that the entirety of the concept of AI, countries and states, and including the Philippines, through that recommendation on the ethics of AI, countries are encouraged to follow the core values there, which would include respect for human rights. And there are 10 principles there, including transparency, sustainability, um, fairness, etc., etc. So, kumbaga, yung human rights aspirations natin, no, nandun na sa document, and all that the Philippines should do, hopefully, is to benchmark whatever its policies are with respect to that recommendations. Kasi doon po sa recommendations na yon, merong sinasabi na impact assessment. So, kailangan mo din, like, hopefully government can, um, hopefully kaya niyang tasahin ng kanyang sarili, no? And assess from that benchmark. But I think naman the government is trying to be inclusive with that, because the government is aware that the entire concept is too large. Kaya in the hearings, they have in the previous hearing that I attended, I saw representatives from the private sector, from the professionals. Hindi lang puro gobyerno to. So, yeah. But more conversations like these fora need to be made. So thank you for initiating this.
We can really sense how our spectators are actively engaging. Thank you for bringing a very fruitful talk to the table, Attorney Santiago. As we honor your presence, we are hereby awarding the Certificate of Appreciation to Attorney Fernando Angelo R. Santiago, JD MSc, in acknowledgement of your exceptional dedication, expertise, and invaluable contribution as a resource speaker at the forum organized by the Science, Technology, and Society class of the University of the Philippines Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga, entitled AI-fficiency, Surfacing Artificial Intelligence's Impact on PH Economy, presented on this 7th day of May 2024, signed by our STS1 professor, Professor Remy De Leon, and the overall co-heads, Alan Daniel Aglosolos and Marie Haydon Salvador. Let us express our gratitude and appreciation by sending heart reactions for Attorney Santiago. And now let us quickly turn our cameras on for a quick photo snap.
Please look at your cameras na lang po for the photo. 1, 2, 3. Okay po, thank you. Done na po.
Thank you so much, AI efficient, Nico. Let that sink in. And to feel the thrill and peaks of our AI efficient minds, let us immerse ourselves in the broader scope of artificial intelligence on the Philippine grounds. To walk us through the various economic impacts of AI on the PH economy, may we call on Doc Krista Daniel Yu. Doc Krista Daniel Yu is a full professor in the School of Economics at De La Salle University. She is also a senior expert at the Oscar M. Lopez Center for Climate Change Adaptation and Disaster Risk Management Foundation. Dr. Yu has an extensive research portfolio on the development of quantitative models for disaster risk and vulnerability analysis, the economic impact of natural disasters, post-pandemic recovery, economic complexity, AI impacts on the workforce, and sustainability. She has published more than 50 journal articles and has a Scopus H index of 14. She also authored books entitled Input-Output Models for Sustainable Industrial Systems and Economics for Babies. She is the recipient of the Philippines Promising Star in Economics and Business, honored by Thomson Reuters, the Outstanding Young Scientist Award in the field of economics, and Outstanding Scientific Paper Award given by the Philippine National Academy of Science and Technology, and most recently, the University of the Philippines President Edgardo J. Angara Fellowship. With all the power she holds, let us welcome Doc Krista with a loud round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you to the organizers, Professor De Leon, for the invitation here to share my knowledge on the impact of AI to the Philippine economy. May I share my screen? Yeah. Okay. Sige. So, perhaps let me start. Before anything, I'd like to start with a poll. Can you help me by joining this Mentimeter poll? A while ago, the first speaker, Attorney San, talked about ChatGPT and a little bit about AI. So now I want to just get a sense of what you know about it and how you've tried to use AI. So we have the Mentimeter code here and the QR. Okay, so I'm just showing the Mentimeter here. Have you used ChatGPT before? And we do have 58 people in the room, but some might still be trying to get on the portal. We have 11 who said, yes, I find it useful. So far, so good. 13. So a lot of people have already used ChatGPT before. There are some who haven't gotten around to it. Yes, but it's not useful. One who says, no, I do not intend to. But a lot of people say, yes, I find it useful. So please keep it coming. And so a lot of people just keeps on saying yes. In the interest of time, I will move on to the next part. Ayan. How will AI affect your job prospects after graduation? I see that a lot of you are students mainly, and no matter what we try to do, AI will really affect your prospects in the future. So there are some statements here that I presented, and I'm trying to get a sense of what you feel about AI. So we have strongly agree, towards strongly agree. AI will help me increase my productivity or efficiency. Still on the 3.4 scale, AI will create opportunities for me to learn valuable skills. So 2.4 towards the lower end, AI will create job opportunities for me. 3.2 towards the higher end, AI will require me to learn new skills that I am not confident I have the capacity to learn. Towards strongly disagree, I don't think AI will impact my job prospects. And then 3.7, AI will change the nature of my job prospects. And again, quite low, 1.9, AI will replace humans. Okay. So much appreciated sharing of insights. If you are still trying to give your insights, just please try to answer the mentee at your own time. Thank you. So let us go back to the presentation. So I have a quick outline of what I'll be talking about first. A quick introduction. I love numbers, so I hope you can get a grasp of what AI is and how it can affect our prospects in the future through numbers, and then a little about economic impacts. And you cannot really escape the social impacts of AI, and then some sectoral applications, government initiatives, and lastly, conclusions and recommendations. So very quickly, I know the previous presenter already discussed the definition on AI, but I'd like to show another definition just to agree that there are many definitions indeed. It is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. It is related to the similar task of using computers to understand human intelligence, but AI does not have to confine itself to methods that are biologically observable. There are different types of AI. So the first type is weak AI. It relies on human interference to define the parameters of its learning algorithm. So a while ago, there were examples of training centers, okay, training data. So that's example of weak AI. Next is strong AI. The machine would require intelligence equal to humans. It would have a self-aware consciousness that has ability to solve problems, learn, and plan for the future. So para na siyang tao. And lastly, super AI, an AI system that is self-aware and intelligent enough to surpass the cognitive abilities of humans. So far, we only have weak AI. We do not have strong AI and super AI yet. Or maybe we're still far along. Not sure about the developments there, but definitely weak AI is. So here are some statistics. Where are we? So in terms of government AI readiness, okay, I will present data for 2 years for selected ASEAN economies. You can see that based on this table for 2022, Singapore is the top, okay, followed by Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam. Okay, we can see that there's a lot to be done. Okay, for the technology sector. Okay, um, government pillars. Okay, the leading is really Singapore. And in terms of data and infrastructure pillar, Singapore is really far up there compared to um, the other ASEAN countries. Okay, so let's now move on to 2023. How did we grow in 1 year? Or how did we not grow in 1 year? Let's see. Okay, so you can see here, Singapore is still ranked number 2 in the world out of 181 countries. Malaysia improved, okay, from 29. Thailand slipped a little, okay, but still almost there. Followed by Indonesia, which improved by 1 step. And if you will notice, Philippines slipped and Vietnam went up. Okay, so if you will notice here, this seems like a recurring story. The Philippines used to be a little ahead of Vietnam, then later on slipping. Okay, so we have to catch up, okay, while we still can. Next, how are we in the country? So after looking at ASEAN, how are we in the Philippines distributionally? There is a huge disparity across the economy. You can see that households with internet access are relatively low in other regions, except for NCR, Region 3, where Pampanga is, and Region 4E. But even if they are quite high compared to the other regions, it's still less than 50%. So, house it is important to have internet access. Like learning opportunities would always be there with internet access. Individuals using and not using the internet by age. So we can see here a lot of individuals are using internet as early as they're young, okay? And a huge percentage actually for those below 34. Above 34, the percentage becomes smaller. Next, in terms of computer activity, what do they use computers for? This is also very important because um, if you use computers simply for um, playing, for entertainment, it's not really value adding to the economy. Whereas if you use it for learning, for communications, that might actually help boost economic activity. So you can see that again, in NCR, Region 3, Region 4A especially, um, computers are used for communication, um, entertainment, Netflix, um, computer-aided learning, and some copy and pasting. Okay? But if you can see BARM here, it's very low. It's almost close to the zero line, and much higher would this line here is for entertainment and gaming rather than for the other more productive activities. Okay, so here are more detailed information, okay, on the different uses of individuals for computers. And again, most of the activity would center in NCR, Region 3, and Region 4. Very important is infrastructure. So the availability of infrastructure would actually encourage more people to harness the power of the internet. And looking at our ASEAN neighbors, again, we all started similarly in year 2000. But as time moved on, okay, the Philippines is left behind again. Okay? We have the lowest average internet connection speed in ASEAN. In terms of fixed broadband subscriptions per thousand capita, again, okay, based on the average internet speed, it's not really that encouraging. So you can see that in terms of fixed broadband subscriptions per capita, Philippines is still lagging. But in terms of smartphone penetration, it's quite high, especially um, for the countries like Singapore, Vietnam, and Malaysia. The Philippines is relatively doing well in terms of smartphone penetration, which will actually help. In terms of the labor force, we can see it is very important to look at the job profile in the country. So a lot of people work in private establishments. Okay? Some work for private households, but there are some who work in own family operated farms or businesses. Okay? We have a huge chunk that are self-employed, and another huge chunk here who work for the government. Okay? And on the right-hand side, we have based on tasks, okay, what tasks do people do in the workforce. We have a significant amount of elementary occupations and service and sales workers, skilled agriculture, fishery and forestry workers, plant machine operators and attempters, craft and related trade workers. Okay? We have clerical workers also, technicians and associate professionals, and managers. So most of these tasks or work can be automated. Okay? So it is important that we are aware of how things can be automated and learn how to adapt to automation. So what are the different impacts of AI? Very important, jobs. Okay, it can create jobs. It can also displace jobs. Okay, so in 2022, 2.3 jobs were created and 1.8 million jobs were eliminated due to AI worldwide. When you talk about automation and AI, the first sector that would usually come to mind would be IT BPM. Okay, so we're one of the outsourcing capitals of the world. Okay, we provide services to developed countries because labor is relatively cheap here in the Philippines. So if AI or automation can actually reduce the cost, they might shift towards that. So I'm showing you the change in the number of employees worldwide due to automation from 2016 to 2022. And you can see that this lighter blue chunk here, 9.09 million employees, went down to 6.2 million employees. But these are low-skilled workers. For the medium-skilled tasks, you have 5 million, which increased to 5.6 million. And for the high-skilled tasks, 1.85 million to 2.9 million. So you can see that jobs are created for higher skilled tasks and for lower skilled tasks, jobs are displaced. So it is important to try to move up the task ladder. Here's a more detailed snapshot of what's happening in the world. So as you can see, we have 4 selected countries here: Philippines, UK, India, and the United States. Okay, so we can see that for the Philippines, the lower skill uh, part actually shrunk, and we have very small portion that are high skill compared to countries like the United States, where the high skilled part is quite high and the medium skilled also. So much of the lesson that we can pick up here is the lower skilled workers should move to higher skilled tasks. And this is where retooling and reskilling is quite important. So tasks based on skills, what have I been talking about low skilled tasks, medium skilled tasks, and high skilled tasks. So in terms of low skilled tasks, this only requires simple entry level process driven tasks that require little abstract thinking or autonomy. In terms of medium skilled tasks, we have complicated tasks that require experience, abstract thinking, and situational response. And lastly, high skilled tasks, which talk about complicated tasks that require specialized expertise, abstract thinking, and autonomy. So here are the different jobs, okay, that have actually been affected by the low skill tasks: medical transcriptions, simple contact center services, basic 2D animation services, parts of IT technical support, and transactional mid and back office transactions. Okay. What are tasks that actually have higher demand nowadays? Analytics and optimization, automation enablement, clinical data analytics, remote health management, VR and AR enabled animation, and lastly, supply chain optimization. So aside from that, education is also affected by AI. There are different ways of learning. Okay, so as a student, you can actually tap into distance learning. You can also ask AI about things. Okay, although you have to take that with a grain of salt, so it is very important to fact check. Okay, but on the supply side, AI can be used as a mode of delivery. Okay, so there are different demand and supply um, aspects in education. Inequality. Okay? AI can give uh, opportunities that can reduce inequality. However, AI can also exacerbate inequality. So there are always two sides of a coin that we should look into or consider. Next is investment in new technologies. So if we invest in new technologies, there is a possibility to um, increase economic growth. Okay? We can also increase efficiency. Okay? So industries are transformed. Okay? I will talk about the transformations in various industries later on. Okay? It can reduce costs and reduce risk with better planning and forecasting. And lastly, reduce information asymmetry between consumers and producers. So a while ago, the first speaker also showed an example about Shopee, how when you search for something, it would eventually recommend other things related to that. When you talk about social impacts, we also have security and privacy, okay, concerns. So what will happen if your data is leaked? Okay. Um, how about issues when you get caught in CCTV and among other things. Okay. We also have cultural and creative impact. Okay. So AI can contribute to artistic development, like uh, writing scripts, writing songs, and editing, Okay, and it may also replace some jobs. And lastly, there are ethical concerns towards the use of AI. Okay, so should you ask AI to write the tagline or something? So here are global trends on the impact of AI to job um, creation in the next 5 years from the World Economic. Okay, so trends should include broadening digital access, increased adoption of new frontiers. Okay, um, it can also affect, okay, consumers becoming more vocal on issues, environmental issues, okay, and so on. So there are technologies, okay, that can impact job creation. So very big technology impact would be big data analytics, okay, as I shown earlier, digital platforms and apps, e-commerce and digital trade, cloud computing, cyber security, AI, education, and Internet of Things. So we should consider looking into these when we want to build our AI roadmap. Then we also have role outlook for the next 5 years. Okay, it will definitely affect the labor market or labor workforce landscape. Okay, so there will be higher demand for AI and ML specialists, business intelligence analysts, sales and marketing professionals, data analysts and scientists, and DevOps engineers. Lower requirement for operations managers, business service administration managers, accounting clerks, administrative secretaries, and assembly and factory workers. So that's why I showed you the profile of the Philippine workforce. And next is we need to look into reskilling, skill focus. And a lot of this should really go towards AI and big data, analytical thinking, resilience, flexibility, and agility, creative thinking, technological literacy, curiosity and lifelong learning, leadership and social influence, service orientation and customer service, talent management, and design and user experience. So here are some sectoral applications that are already out there. So in terms of agriculture, AI can be used. If you put sensors, you can measure the amount of rainfall, you can measure the humidity, and if the soil is too dry, there are nutrients. Okay? AI in manufacturing and construction. So a real world example, the Public Cement is rolling out an AI tool in all its manufacturing plants this year to produce stronger quality cement and reduce its carbon dioxide emissions. In terms of investment banking, generative AI has been useful for them also. Okay? PSA has also harnessed the use of AI in collaboration with BOST ASTI to count the area estimation of palay, sugarcane, mango, coconut, fish pond, fish pen, and fish cage. Okay. Just today, this was posted by Business World, Maynilad in the Metro Manila, that's our source of supplier of water, will use satellite-based infrastructure intelligence to use to get or detect underground pipe leaks. The Asian Development Bank uses AI for producing poverty maps. Okay, they've done this for the Philippines and Thailand already. AI can also be used for creative industries. So they can just feed it with a lot of artworks, okay, and generate more artistic work. Okay. So this is an example. And AI for e-commerce. So Lazada, Amazon, Shopee, they all use AI to get data on user preferences. Some actually like this because they receive curated data, but some don't. Okay. And lastly, some government initiatives for AI. So there's already a national AI strategy roadmap produced by DTI and DOST. Then there's DICT that gives free technical training. TESDA also gives technical training, and BOI has a talent map roadmap, okay, for development in the next 5 years. So in conclusion, okay, we should be able to deliver reliable infrastructure so that we can harness the power of AI, okay, strengthen academe, industry, government linkages so that all the objectives and goals are in sync, include stakeholders in designing a national AI regulatory framework because it's not just the government that's should be doing this. We should include all so that everyone will be aware. It's important to upskill and reskill, okay, because we have to evolve. Okay? AI is a tool. AI should be our friend. We should not be afraid of it. Okay? And lastly, promote AI R&D activities because if we stay in the lower end of the spectrum, the low skilled tasks, jobs will be displaced. So we have to keep moving up so that we can broaden our reach. Okay? So thank you for your time, and I think the floor is open for questions. You may also email me if you are a bit shy tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc Krista. Hours pass by that quickly when we are braced with quality talk. Thank you, Doc, for that detailed discussion. We have received a lot of questions, but due to time restrictions, please allow me to read one of the most substantial queries that we have. How does AI contribute to the unequal distribution of income and the socio-economic gaps in the Philippine economy? And what steps can policymakers take to tackle these issues? Let me send it po sa chat box. Again, how does AI contribute to the unequal distribution of income and the socio-economic gaps in the Philippine economy? And what steps can policymakers take to tackle these issues?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So in terms of inequality, so typically those who have the capacity to train in terms of AI would be those who have resources. So as you've seen in the graph earlier, most of those who have the use for to learn, use of technology to learn, are in the NCR, Region 3, Region 4A. Those in the poorer regions don't have this capacity to do so. So if these opportunities are not open to them, then that would actually exacerbate the income inequality situation in the Philippines. What steps can policymakers take? They can open programs, promote more programs in these regions. What's nice about computers nowadays is it's quite portable. So if we use technology to help us, then it would make things easier to actually alleviate poverty in some regions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that very substantial and insightful answer. Thank you also for gracing us with your presence to discuss the economic impact of AI in our country. With that, we are honoring the certificate of appreciation to you, Doc Krista Daniel Yu, in acknowledgement of your exceptional dedication, expertise, and invaluable contribution as a resource speaker at the forum organized by the Science, Technology, and Society class of the University of the Philippines Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga, entitled AI-fficiency, Surfacing Artificial Intelligence's Impact on PH Economy, presented on the 7th day of May 2024, signed by our STS1 Professor Prof. Remy De Leon, and the overall co-heads Alan Daniel Agnosalos and yours truly, Mari Haydun Salvador. Once again, let us give Doc Krista a virtual round of applause. Let us have a quick groovy by turning on your cameras. Tech team?
Please look at your cameras na lang po for the photo. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, done na po. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, AI efficient Nico. I don't think that the learning stops right here. Are you still there, AI efficient peeps? Raise your clap reactions as we introduce an interesting topic to wrap up the AI experience.
Without further ado, let us explore harnessing the power of AI through effective prompt engineering to be expounded by Ishmael Mel Vargas. With over 20 years of experience in IT, Mel brings a wealth of knowledge to the table. He is a well-rounded IT professional with expertise ranging from software programming to learning and development to coaching and mentoring. Mel is a true advocate for continuous learning, evident by their impressive collection of 12 noteworthy certifications certified by industry giants like Microsoft and Oracle. He is also constantly pushing boundaries, as demonstrated by their current pursuit of certification in generative AI. Mel is not only a technical expert, but also a thought leader. Their insightful contributions have earned them recognition as a top leadership voice on LinkedIn. He wrote a book on database programming and has authored several courses on software development published by Oracle NetSuite. Today, Mel will be sharing their expertise on AI prompt engineering. With their unique blend of technical knowledge, educational experience, and leadership vision, we are in for a truly insightful session. Please join us in giving a warm welcome to Mel Vargas. Sir?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. The first two talks were really wonderful and really gives us a good picture of what AI looks like in the Philippines. So with my talk, we're going to focus on more on the practical side and how you can use AI. Some of you, based on the survey that we've had earlier, it looks like a lot of you are already using AI, but we're going to put that into the next level. And as Attorney Santiago mentioned earlier, AI is really here to stay, and you need to make sure that you are well versed in how to use AI. And Dr. Yu also mentioned that for you to be able to be protected in the new AI market, you need to make sure that you up your skill. So for my discussion, I want to start with a quote from Mark Cuban, and it reads: "Artificial intelligence or deep learning, machine learning, whatever you're doing, if you don't understand it, learn it, because otherwise you're going to be a dinosaur within 3 years." And that's something that is definitely going to happen, because we've seen AI really go through a quick improvement over the past few years. And if you don't know, AI has actually been here for decades, but it hasn't been as popular as how it's happening now. It's really advancing forward really fast. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to talk about how you can use AI, or how you can harness AI through prompt engineering. And again, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Mel. I have about 24 years in the IT industry, and I have had many roles, from being a software programmer to being a learning and development manager with different companies like Microsoft, Financial Times, and Oracle. I have several certifications, including 8 certifications from Microsoft and Oracle, and I do have some publications and courses that have been authored. Right now, I'm currently in a mini retirement. I have been taking a break since November last year, and I've been traveling. I've been to Japan twice, and once in Boracay. I'm thinking of spending a month in Pampanga. So if you have any suggestions on where I could stay and enjoy maybe the food and all of the fun things that you can do in Pampanga, that's something that I would like to to experience. So anyway, so what are we going to talk about today? So we're going to have two major sections and then a summary. I'm going to start my discussion with the AI tools that you can use right now so that you can maximize how to use AI. And then we're going to go a little bit more technical with prompt engineering. And it's not overly technical. This is definitely something that you can do. And then we're going to go through a summary. Okay. Now, let's start with the first one, which is the AI tools. Now, when we talk about AI tools, typically what happens is that we discuss ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT from OpenAI is the one that really opened the door for the visibility of AI in the public market. But right now, there are so many tools that are available for AI. And right now, we're going to, or at least in this discussion, we're going to focus on two primary tools that you can use, again, right now that can help you with pretty much anything that you need, from learning to researching to again, like with work and how you can be more efficient and automate your life to make your life easier. Now, the tools that I want to show you would be Google Gemini, which, if you don't know, was previously named Google Bard, and then Microsoft Copilot, which was previously named as Microsoft Bing AI. Now, these are the two tools I primarily use. In fact, I do seldom use ChatGPT just because of the training data that they use for ChatGPT is a little bit old. If you want to use like latest training data, you would probably have to subscribe to the pro version, which I really don't want to pay. And I know majority of the attendees here are students, and we want to get things for free, and that's what we're going to do. So again, we're going to focus on Google Gemini and Copilot. Now, to show you what that looks like, I'm going to go to Copilot and give you a sampler, and also with Google Gemini, on the things that you can do with Copilot. Because again, a lot of people think AI would just be ChatGPT asking questions, using that as Google search, which Attorney Santiago mentioned. Don't use that as Google search. There are a lot of things that you can do. But again, there are some options that you can do for getting more data. So let's start with Copilot. So let me just show you what Copilot looks like. So this is the Microsoft Copilot screen. And again, if you look at it, it looks very similar to ChatGPT. In fact, the backbone of Copilot is GPT 3.5 or GPT-4, depending on the version that you have. But basically, Copilot would be a public, or at least a more public, more training data version of ChatGPT. So given a choice between using Copilot and ChatGPT, I'll probably just choose Copilot. But anyway, so these are the things that you can do with Copilot. Now, with Copilot, what makes it really good as a tool to improve your life is if you pair that with the Microsoft Edge browser. Now, some of you might be using Chrome, but for me personally, since I'm very immersed with AI, I use Microsoft Edge browser because of the things that you can do with the Edge browser. Now, here, I have a shortcut for Copilot. And if I click on the button on the upper right-hand corner here, it gives me the Copilot page. And there are a lot of things that I can do here. For example, there's a compose page here, which would be really helpful if you want to compose something, or if you want AI to write about something. For example, if you want to write a short paragraph on something, or if you want to generate an idea, this would be very useful if you are stuck in maybe some research, or maybe if you are doing social media and you don't know what to post, you can generate an idea. Or if you have a blog that you want to write, this would help you write that blog. Or very useful here is if you want to write an email. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you can do here. We're going to talk about tone a little bit later, but here are some examples of tones: professional, casual, enthusiastic, informational, funny, and so on. You can also change the length of the generated information that you want. For example, if you want short, medium, or long. But going back here, what's really edge browsing to do based on the page that's currently open on your browser. For example, so I have this email regarding the guest speaker invitation that I received for speaking for this talk. So maybe I have an email here, and let's just say it's fairly short, but let's just say that I want AI to respond to this email. All I can do is that here I'm just going to say, okay, just use the data from this particular email, and then I can just say respond to this email saying I'd love to be a speaker. And then just like that, is going to read the email, and then it's going to respond to that email. Now, you might be thinking, why would I want to do that? That's just very lazy. I can just easily respond to this email. But think about this. Once you hit the workforce, especially if you're working for, say, an international company, or if you are working for, say, a company that has a lot of business, it is not uncommon for you to receive up to 100 emails per day. And if you don't read all of that 100 emails per day, it's going to pile up. So it's again not uncommon for people to have like thousands of emails on their inboxes, and that's probably something that you have encountered yourself. So this allows you to jumpstart the communication by again having AI look at what the email is and then have AI respond to you. So for example, here it says warm greetings. I'm writing to express my excitement and gratitude for the invitation, blah, blah, blah. And again, as you can see, it was already able to respond to the email. Of course, I wouldn't recommend to reply directly by using the AI prompt. I would read it, of course. If there's anything I don't agree with, or if there's anything I want to change, I can always change that before I send a response. But again, that's a good way to jumpstart, and it'll really lessen the time that you have for composing an email, because composing an email, let's admit, is sometimes takes a long time. Now, another thing that you can do here is that you can use this for research. For example, there's this article for AI and how it's changing every aspect of psychology. This article is fairly long. I'm just going to use a new one here. It's fairly long, and if I'm going to use this, for example, okay, we have maybe an exam regarding this. So what I can do is that there's a good set of suggestions here. For example, suggest questions about this page. So if I click on that, it'll give me the prompt, and it's going to give me a list of questions that can potentially be asked if this is going to be part of, say, a quiz. So now you would have an idea of the things that are relevant and potential questions that can help you prepare for a quiz regarding this particular article. What you can also do is that you can actually summarize this article. So again, it's very, very long, and all I can do here and just say is summarize this article, and then it's going to give me a short summary of the article. And again, I wouldn't recommend to do this if you are using this to study, but it would be a good way for you to prime yourself prior to reading the article. For example, you can just read a summary, get a good foundation of what the article is all about, and then you can go ahead and read the whole article so that it can be part of your study. And again, these are just a few things that you can do with AI, and this would be very helpful once you get to the workforce where maybe there's just a lot of work that you need to do. So each automation, if you save like 1 minute for each task that you're going to do, and if you're going to repeat the task, let's say 60 times a day, then that will save you 1 hour of discussion. So I think that's going to be a really good trade-off for using AI. Another use case here that I want to show you is that you can actually use this for not just for articles, but you can also use this for YouTube videos. For example, here is a YouTube video from Huberman Labs, which is one of my favorite scientist and content creator on YouTube on how you can use active recall to learn. I can just say maybe list the practical tips mentioned in this video. And then there you go. It's going to go to the video, look at the contents of the video, and then it's going to give you the information that you actually need. And as you can see, it's just so useful for a lot of things. But just imagine, this is a 6-minute video, which is relatively short. But just imagine if this was a 2-hour lecture on something that's really important that you want to study, but you don't have 2 hours to sit and watch the video. And by using this, you can just get all of the important takeaways, and AI was able to help you do it, right? So these are things that can really help you with your day-to-day activities. Now, Gemini has pretty much the same capabilities. A few things that are different with Gemini would be how Gemini approaches creation, because for Copilot, there are a few limitations. For example, if you create a prompt, it's going to allow you to send, let me see if there's a counter here, but basically you only have about 30 interactions with Copilot before it tells you that, okay, the conversation is ended, start a new conversation. But with Gemini doesn't have that limit. But also, there's a lot of things that are pre-created in Copilot that you can use. So what I do is that I actually use them side by side, basically. So I would create a prompt and then use that prompt on Gemini, and then I'm also going to use the same prompt with Copilot. But let me just see here. We'll just use whatever is on the default here. For example, draft an email with a packing list for an upcoming trip. That sounds good. I'll just use the same template here. So what's different with Gemini is that there are a lot of customization options that you can use. Let's just say this is an article that I have generated, and maybe I'm going to post this on a blog, or I'm going to submit this as part of my proposal to my boss. And maybe I don't like the content. What's nice is that it actually allows you to choose different drafts. So Gemini automatically creates 3 versions of results for the same prompt, and then you can just choose, okay, so maybe this is a better packing list, or maybe this one's a better packing list. Then I can just use that. There are also some options here to change what it looks like. For example, if I want to make it shorter, I can just choose that option to make it shorter. Or if I want to give it a different tone, for example, I want it to be more casual than, or I want to make it professional. So those are things that you can easily use. And if there's anything here that you want to do or that you want to try out, and again, it's just being able to know that there are tools that are available to you to improve or to utilize with prompt engineering, or essentially AI, then that's something that you can use. But let's go ahead and go forward with prompt engineering. So with prompt engineering, we need to understand what prompt engineering is and how we can maximize. And this moves you from like level 1 to level 5. Because by understanding what prompt engineering is, what it gives you is that it gives you the knowledge of really getting the most out of your AI prompts. Now, the main concept is that you need to understand that AI, at least with large language models like Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot, it has pretty much information or trained data with your AI or with the data of the internet. But for you to be able to get that data, you need to make sure that you ask the right question. Okay, so that's the most important part. Now, how do you ask the right question? So what you need to do to create the perfect prompt is to have all of these information. So first, you need to set your task or goal. you need to have your context, your role, your format, the tone, and also set an example. So those are things that you need to do. If there's anything that I want you to remember from this discussion, I want you to remember the 6 things. Because once you have all of these 6 things, you would be able to really elevate your experience with AI. Now, task, context, role, format, tone, and example. So screenshot this, or if you want to make sure that you remember this, you can use this mnemonic, taco roll photo X. So maybe it's a person trying to eat a taco roll, taking a photo, and then maybe thinking about his ex or her ex in this particular case. So that's something that you can do, taco roll photo X, okay? So anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to our prompt. So first, what goal do I want to achieve? So that's my task or my goal. And this is where you tell AI or generative AI basically to say what you want to get. So for example, here, I want to summarize this article. I want to write a cover letter, or I want you to help prepare me for my interview. So those are goals that you want to give AI, and that's what AI will be giving you back. Now, after the goal, you have your context. So with the context, you want to ask, how can I be more specific? So here, for example, if our goal is to write a cover letter, maybe with specific context, I can just say, write a cover letter for Microsoft applying for a role as an HR associate. So that kind of gives you more information on, or at least gives AI more information on what you want to accomplish. Okay, so task or goal, and then co for our taco would be context. Next would be the role. So here, it's this is kind of a very interesting thing. If you want to be able to use AI effectively, you want to tell AI to pretend to be someone, or ask the question, who can I imitate to get the best result? For example, so here are really good results, or here are really good prompts for roles. You can say that you are an expert career coach and write a cover letter for Microsoft, blah, 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 which kind of extends the original prompt that we have. But here we're telling AI to pretend to be an expert career coach. You can even extend that by saying, act as a certain person. For example, act as Andy Lasevita, which is a very famous content creator for career coach. Or if you want to be life coached by Tony Robbins, you can just say, act as Tony Robbins and give me advice on how I can get the career that I want, or something like that. Okay? So we have our task, context, role, and then we have our format. So for the format, we want to ask, how do we want the information to be presented? Now, typically, the information will be presented as a paragraph, but if you want it to be presented as a bullet point or a table, that's something that you can specify. So for example, this is a prompt that I've tried. Write a list of companies I can apply to as a BS Psychology graduate, display it in table format with headings, company name, email, and position. So I did try this, but this is a result from Google Gemini, and Google Gemini didn't give me the email for security reasons. What's interesting is that when I tried this with Copilot, Copilot gave me the email and then removed it in the final result. So again, the result may vary depending on what you're trying to do. So next one is the tone. So tone would be, what attitude do I want to convey? So earlier we kind of saw an example of tones when I showed you Microsoft Copilot. But essentially here, how do you want your content to sound? So for example, do you want it to be formal, conversational, casual, or anything like that? Okay, so those are things that you can do. So here are some examples of tones that you can use. Poetic, if you want to incorporate like rhythm or figurative language. Educational, if you want to have more of a tone where you're explaining concepts. Formal, if you want to use that in a formal situation. Though in business setting, actually, they don't really use formal language. I did notice that in some of the emails that I got from the organizers. In an international context, people are more conversational, especially if you're working for an American company. So that's something that you can use. Or empathetic. So if you have an empathetic tone, you have like understanding or compassion. So those are things that you would be able to get. And then lastly, here you have examples. So what are good and bad examples of results? For example, if you want to say that, okay, I want your result to look like this, or I want your result to not look like this. So that's something that you can do. So here's an example that I use for language learning. So right now I am essentially practicing my Japanese. So what I use as a prompt is this. So example of my prompt here would be at the bottom where for the response, I want my response to be written in base or completely in Japanese. And then I want that to be written in kana. And that's something that I would be able to read. And then I would also want to translate that in English. So whenever I talk to AI, even if I talk in Japanese, I would be able to get this response because I told AI to use this kind of response. Okay, so again, just remember our acronym PACO role photo X, and whenever you're doing a prompt, there are some things that are important with the prompt. So if you're going to create a prompt, you need to make sure that you have a task or goal. That's very basic. All of your prompts 100% of the time should have a task or a goal. Next, your context and role. You don't have to put that, but that's highly recommended, especially for the context. Okay, but context and role, if there are three things that you need to make sure that you have in all of your prompts, I would say these are the three top things. Now for the format, tone, or example, this is something that you can put in, but it's not really necessary unless you're not getting the results that you want. Now, you might be asking, okay, what if my prompt will be very, very long? And it's not really a problem. So here's an example of a prompt that I have for learning Japanese. And again, it allows me to just write down all of the information that Chat GPT or Copilot or Gemini needs to be able to understand what I need. And again, this is about 1,900 characters, and typically for generative AI, you have 4,000 characters. So you can double this number of characters, and you would still be okay with generating AI. Now, do I need to have a very, very long prompt? No, you don't need to. The main thing that you have to remember is that if you are going to make a prompt, it should give you the result that you intend. Okay? So if it's a very short prompt, like one sentence, all you have is a goal, but it already gives you the information that you need, then you should already be good to go. Okay? So yeah, so that is pretty much it for my discussion. Again, just quick summary. Just make sure that you try all of the other AI tools, not just ChatGPT. We have Midjourney, Perplexity, by the way, is a really excellent tool for researching. Remember our acronym, TACO Role Photo X, and you can improve your prompt engineering by practicing and doing a lot of things and trying different tools. If you can find like suggestions on the different prompts on the internet, try to copy that, see what results you get, and then again, try to practice. I think that's really the best thing that you can do. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for having me. If you have any questions, please connect with me on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn profile is linkedin.com/IN/Mel Vargas. And that's it. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Taco Roll Photo X, that is definitely remarkable. But an ending blast for today's talk. Thank you so much, Mel. And let us see how the crowd got hyped up by checking if we received some questions. Okay, we'll see. We have one question to wrap up our discussion. So the question is it possible to use AI technology to harness the potential of large language models in enriching or promoting the country's local languages and dialects?
Absolutely. What's really interesting is that you can actually use right now, not in the future, but right now, you can already start using Tagalog for for AI for both Google Gemini and also for Microsoft Copilot. Now, I don't know if they can have Cebuano because Google has a really good translation engine that has different languages, including like Cebuano or Visaya. So I haven't tried that, but I'm pretty sure that's something that we can, we can easily test out.
Thank you so much, Sir Mel. What a
Sure.
delight to be seated in a room of AI innovative speakers.
For that impactful speakership and harnessing the power of AI through effective prompt engineering, this certificate is awarded to Ishmael Vargas in acknowledgement of his exceptional dedication, expertise, and invaluable contribution as a resource speaker at the forum organized by the Science, Technology, and Society class of the University of the Philippines Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga entitled AI-fficiency, Surfacing Artificial Intelligence's Impact on PH economy, presented on the 7th day of May 2024, signed by our STS1 professor, Prof. Remy De Leon, and overall co-heads, Alan Daniel Agusolos and Marie Haydon Salvador. Once again, let us shower this meeting with heart reactions to show appreciation to Mel Vargas. Let us all together turn our cameras on for this rare but not AI-filtered photo opportunity.
Please look at your cameras na lang po ulit for the photo. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Done na po. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our ever AI efficient Nico that puts AI experience into a wrap to express the message of gratitude to our participants and the people behind the success of today's event. May we call on Professor Remy De Leon, the Science, Technology, and Society Advisor of the 4th year UPDEPP Seniors. A big round of applause for Sir Rem.
Hello there. Thank you for attending the Science and Technology Policy Forum entitled AI Efficiency, Surfacing Artificial Intelligence's Impact on the Philippine Economy. This is part of an ongoing series of student-organized science and technology policy fora at the UP Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga, in which we seek out experts to share their thoughts on pressing science and technology issues confronting the Philippines and the Filipino people today. To be honest with you, I have been suffering under the illusion that I was supposed to do the opening remarks for you today instead of the closing remarks. And when I looked at the program for today, I realized for the first time that I had agreed to do a whole lot more work than I initially thought. Speaking after the inputs of such experts is, of course, quite intimidating and ultimately a lot of hard work, but I suppose it's also a fulfilling one because now I get to thank all of our guests. UP College of Law professor attorney Angelo Santiago gave us an important introduction to AI and also gave us a sneak peek at the earliest stages of AI legislation and regulation in the Philippines, which was fascinating. Of course, there's economics professor Dr. Krista Yu of the La Salle University School of Economics, whose work on disaster risk analysis I have admired for a long time. She took us through the numbers to show the economic impact of AI in the Philippines, which is something that I have been wondering about for quite a while. And will continue to wonder about as we get more data, and I'm sure she'll have more papers for us to read. It was lovely to see her and put a face to the words that I've been reading. And then, of course, Mel Vargas' talk on Copilot and Gemini and prompt engineering is very useful. And having played around with Bard and Gemini, I certainly found his talk fascinating. I hadn't explored Copilot prior to this, and I certainly will after, especially since apparently it can help me with processing videos, which is going to be very interesting. I did not realize I could use Copilot to browse through video content. That will be very useful for me. In fact, I have notes on task, context, role, format, tone, and example right here as I prepare to explore Copilot. But on top of that, of course, I have to congratulate the three groups which organized this talk. They took the bull by the horns and gave us a fascinating forum. Despite the difficulties of this semester's strange calendar, it is a very strange calendar. And today is 50 degrees Celsius weather in Pampanga, which again is very, very crazy. Good work. I hope you learned a lot from the experience, and I hope you picked up some skills that you will use and I know you're entering the workplace very soon, and these are certainly skills that I think you'll find useful as you go out there. As well, of course, as all the learnings we have for AI. Um, the same applies to the audience listening now. Your inputs and interests have been invaluable, and this has been a very interesting forum, sorry. And I hope you enjoyed yourselves. We have one more fora left this semester, by the way. As on Thursday, we'll be talking about strategies for securing the Philippines in this new era of great power competition. So, see you there, and thank you again. Good night, and thank you.
That is truly a remarkable word from you, Sir Rem. Thank you, sir. The virtual stage has been filled with substantial insights that are best applied and shared, right, Miss Jelaine?
Absolutely, Miss Mara. And for us to know your afterthoughts, please feel free to answer our feedback form displayed on your screen and chat box for proof of your attendance as well. Who would have thought that virtual platforms have the power to connect us to an AI innovative future?
So, is the Philippines AI ready?
We believe that this has been answered in AI efficiency,
Surfacing artificial intelligence's impact on PH economy. Till our next groundbreaking discussion, we are glad to spend time with you.
This is your host, Jelaine Salvador.
And Mara Salvador, wishing everyone a sumptuous dinner. Good night. Now signing off.